be the spring game, but it sure feels like football. Let's go football.
Okay, the next part we're going to take out is the Hydrobooster for the brakes. Now we took out the traction control unit, and that kind of works with the ABS, and so we're going to figure out if we're going to do anti-lock braking systems. I did it on the last car, and it actually does help for drivability. So the next thing we have to do is get this sucker out. The distribution block is below it. We'll make sure we mark the lines and how that goes in. I actually have a hand-drawn diagram that I did earlier, so we know where the lines go in the block itself. One key note I didn't say before, every bolt nut that comes off the car, it's best to save it in something. In fact, I still have the coffee can from the first build. So you never know when you need those things, but especially these grounding bolts. They're good because there's a lot of grounding places for the engine harness, the harnesses throughout the car. So to do this, I'm actually going to take the driver's seat out. Makes it easier to climb underneath there. We've got to get the brake switch off from the inside, and it bolts to the firewall. So that's the next steps. This is always fun to see what's under the seats. So I got the bolts out, and you've noticed just now from the front, this is an electric seat, and I don't have the battery in it. So luckily I was able to get in there and get these two out from the back. Let's see what kind of goodies we got left with.
There's a drum.
Okay, let's see what we got. What fun here. Let's see. Got some tools, all right. Hold this, Kates. So we got a socket. That's nice of them. Nice spark plug. No, that's the tool for the tire. Right on. That's the tool for the rims. Let's set that in there. Somebody that worked at Publix. Yeah. See all this tobacco.
That's tobacco.
Yeah, I assume it's tobacco.
Yeah, that's tobacco. What's that green stuff in there?
Where?
Right there.
Oh, the lighter. Ooh, French fry. This?
Yeah.
It's the lighter.
Oh, can I have it?
No, you can't have it. It's gonna be really fun when we take the carpet out. See what's underneath the carpet. All right, so now I can get up there to the brake pedal and take that little switch off. Okay, you can see under here what we're after. I won't be able to film this with the phone in the way, but I need this brake switch right here. And I need to get these off of the booster. And eventually we gotta get the pedal box. That's always fun. So I'll probably take some more of the dash apart so it'll be easier to get to, but that little brake switch is what we need next. And then we can disconnect the brake pedal from the booster. And then, go ahead and disconnect that. We should go take the booster off. That's that one over there. See him over there?
Yeah, but my hand or my arm is gonna touch.
You'll be alright, you just need to make sure we wash it off. Reach in there and get those two. It's okay. Make life a little easier getting this Hydroboost out. I'm gonna go ahead and take out this power distribution block, the reservoir, kind of clean this area up and start getting the wiring harness pulled back out of the way. I may have not mentioned, but invest in the cookie sheet liquid catcher. as you can see, it's doing a great job of catching all the power steering fluid. Now that's loads better, much easier to get to. So if you're following the manual from Factory Five, which this is pretty much the method I'm following for taking the donor apart, they tell you to take these things off, but they don't tell you about taking off the the right engine harness and unplugging things and just getting it out of your way, disconnecting all the hoses from the cooler up front, which we still need to sacrifice. We need to save the cooler and get it out. But just key things are just keeping your brackets, keeping your screws with your brackets. That's for the power distribution box on this side of the car. And then one important thing to note is that Ford, even though you label it like left cam sensor, they do a good job of the plugs match up. It's hard to screw up because only one plug works in one direction. What does help though is labeling the plugs so you know at least in the area where they go. So next we'll get this distribution box labeled for which brakes come off from where and get the Hydroboost out. With everything disconnected under the hood, we can now unbolt it from the firewall. If we can reach it. 3 inside, 1 outside. This is the last nut. It should fall right out. Quick note that the upper connection from the distribution block is in the rear. The lower connection is in the front of the booster. Hydroboost is out. Wrapping up this episode, so we got the Hydroboost out. I'll finish taking out the distribution block as well as some of the brake lines connecting there, but I need to get in there and label which ones those two are going to the back and to the left, to the right side. So off to the next thing, which will be the power steering rack, which should be pretty simple, but I do need to jack the car up and clean up my mess. I got it on dollies, so we'll take a little bit of a break here and jack it up. But in closing, I mentioned earlier, the boys' car was a great find on the auction site. Said it had mechanical issues. Found a piece of paper for the guy that owned it, called him, said, "Hey dude, what happened to the thing?" Said he left the trunk open and it rained in it, and there's a fuse panel back there that arced out. Took it to the dealership and they said that it burned the whole wiring harness out of the whole car, which is, can't happen. Anyway. But it was reading codes for, I believe, just about everything associated with that back fuse box, which is like the radio, ABS brakes, and a few other things. So I bought a brand new fuse box. It came pre-fused for this car, which is the V6. There's no way I would give a 16-year-old a V8 version of this car. And put the box in there. No codes, runs like a champ. $130 fix right there. So we did the powder coated the rims. And we did some slotted drilled rotors there, and because the rims are rattle canned, so I had them powder coated. And then we got this front end put on it because the front end was damaged at Copart with their forks, and so we got the new front end with it, the new grill. Things mean. It's great to drive a car. There you go. That was another project back there too. Copart.